Imagine standing on the limestone crest of Tikal. The air is thick, heavy with the scent of damp earth and copal incense. Below you, a metropolis of millions stretches to the horizon. Stone pyramids pierce the jungle canopy like jagged mountains, their painted red facades gleaming in the midday sun. But this isn't the ancient past. It is the 16th century. And the empire below you is not dying. It is thriving. In our timeline, the Maya civilization suffered a catastrophic collapse. Around the 9th century, their great cities fell silent. The jungle reclaimed their grand palaces, burying their secrets under a shroud of green. But what if the rains never failed? What if, instead of abandoning their cities, the Maya adapted, conquered their environmental crises, and grew into a global superpower? The year is 850. In our history, a devastating century-long drought is beginning to choke the Mesoamerican lowlands. Crops fail. Wars erupt. Cities empty. But in this alternate timeline, a brilliant network of Maya engineers and astronomers make a radical breakthrough. They don't just pray to the rain god, Chark, they outsmart the climate. They construct massive, paved catchments and sophisticated underground filtration systems called choltunes on a scale never seen before. They master agricultural chemistry, using volcanic ash and river silt to enrich the soil. The crisis is averted. The cities hold. And then, the dominoes begin to fall. With their survival secured, the Maya enter a golden age of rapid intellectual expansion. You see, unlike other Mesoamerican cultures, the Maya possessed a fully developed, written language. Now, imagine if they had invented a method to mass-produce this script. Not a Gutenberg press of metal, but one of carved wood and bark paper. Suddenly, knowledge is no longer locked away in the minds of a few elite priests. It spreads. Books on astronomy, mathematics, and medicine flood the region. Maya scholars, armed with their concept of zero, push the boundaries of mathematics centuries ahead of Europe. They map the stars with terrifying precision, using their calculations to revolutionize navigation. By the 14th century, the Maya are no longer isolated city-states constantly at war. They have consolidated into a powerful merchant confederation, a Mesoamerican Hanseatic League. Trade routes stretch like veins from the volcanic highlands of Guatemala to the flat plains of the Yucatan, carrying jade, obsidian, cacao, and now, scientific treatises. To the north, the fierce Aztec Empire begins its rise. In our timeline, they dominated Mesoamerica. But here, they run face-first into a unified, technologically advanced Maya wall. Instead of a bloody conquest, a tense, heavily armed balance of power emerges. A Mesoamerican Cold War. And then, the ultimate test arrives. The year is 1511. A battered Spanish shipwreck splinters against the reefs of the Yucatan coast. In our timeline, two survivors, Geronimo de Ogalar and Gonzalo Guerrero, wash ashore and are captured. In this timeline, they are brought before a council of highly educated Maya governors. These governors do not see gods. They see men. Flesh and blood. Through intense interrogation, the Maya translate the Spaniards' language. They learn of a vast, hungry empire across the ocean. They learn of steel, of gunpowder, and most importantly, of the invisible killers. Smallpox. Measles. Influenza. The Maya realize they are facing an existential threat. But they have time. And they have science. Using their advanced understanding of medicine and isolation, the Maya leadership does something unprecedented. They establish strict quarantine zones along the coast. When Spanish trade goods or castaways arrive, they are isolated. The Maya deliberately expose small groups to the pathogens, developing early forms of inoculation. They suffer losses, yes, but they do not collapse. They build immunity. Meanwhile, Maya metalworkers get to work. They take the steel swords and arquebuses captured from Spanish expeditions and reverse engineer them. They combine Spanish metallurgy with their own highly sophisticated chemistry. So, when Hernán Cortés sails from Cuba in 1519, looking for gold and easy conquest, he is sailing into a trap. Picture the scene. Cortés's ships drop anchor. But instead of fearful natives offering tribute, they are met by a disciplined, synchronized army. Thousands of Maya warriors stand on the beaches, clad in lightweight cotton armor reinforced with copper plates. They carry longbows, heavy poison-tipped ballistas, and reverse-engineered matchlock rifles. The battle is swift. The Spanish cavalry, so terrifying to other indigenous forces, is neutralized by deep trenches and hidden stakes. The Spanish cannons are answered by Maya artillery strategically placed on the cliffs. Cortez's expedition is annihilated. The message is sent across the Atlantic. The New World is not empty. It is not weak. It is defended. But the Maya do not just stay on their shores. They adapt. They build ocean-going vessels, combining Spanish rigging with their own stable catamaran designs. Within decades, Maya merchant fleets are crossing the Atlantic, arriving in the ports of Seville, Lisbon, and London. They do not come to conquer. They come to trade. They exchange gold, chocolate, and advanced mathematical calendars for European glass, iron, and horses. Imagine a 17th-century world map. The Americas are not a patchwork of European colonies. Instead, the red-painted pyramids of the Maya stand proud alongside the grand stone cathedrals of Europe. Mesoamerica remains a sovereign, thriving land of science, art, and philosophy. The global balance of power is forever altered. The Industrial Revolution happens sooner, sparked by the fusion of European mechanics and Maya mathematics. The world is wealthier, more diverse, and infinitely more complex. All because a single civilization looked at a devastating drought, chose to innovate rather than perish, and refused to vanish into the shadows of the jungle. What do you think our modern world would look like today if the Maya had survived to share their knowledge? Would we have reached the stars sooner? Let us know in the comments below. If this journey into alternate history sparked your curiosity, hit that subscribe button. There are countless other timelines waiting to be explored, and we are just getting started.